And we are back. Welcome everybody back to Seekers of Sarmanath. I hope you had a good break, got enough nachos and Mountain Dew, whatever else. So, last we left off, you had just cleaned out a fight of Merrill who had tried to board your ship in the dead of night. One of them survived and was tied up. After an hour, they wake, or not an hour, after 10 minutes, they wake back up, bound. They begin struggling. But eventually kind of just open their eyes and sit staring up at the rest of you on the deck, realizing it is unable to move.
Okay, is everybody ready?
Ready?
I mean, you have a rapier. You could just poke holes in him until he tells you what you want to know.
You will do no such thing.
No, that's not what I'm talking about at all. The song. It's about the wooden lady. I figured it out.
Yeah, all right.
I mean, obviously the city's in the the city's in the center of the storm. Like, let's be real here. That's how this whole magic thing works. I'm like most of you seekers. Wouldn't that make the most sense? The big evil thing you're trying to find is in the center of the evil swirly whatever storm, centrifuge, vortex. I don't know. Whatever you. It's always in the middle of it. Eye of the storm, etc. It's like you've never been on a ship before. Anyway, the song. Are we ready? He starts to play his accordion. There once was a druid like Spriggan, with vines only she could swing in. Full of emotion and lost in the ocean, she's basically driftwood to cling on. See, I told you I'd write a song about a wooden lady.
Well done, well
This
done.
is the best voyage ever. I made a few coins, I'm gonna get magic items, I met a wooden lady, I have a merfolk. This is gonna be outstanding. And what did you guys want to do with him? Ask him where we're going? Where's your city? And he jabs him.
Alright, you jab him, and you croak out in your kind of Aquan voice, where's your city? He kind of stares up to you. He says, how does he respond to that? He says, deep beneath the ocean. It waits. We will kill you.
Listen, I'm the one who writes poetry here and sings songs. I don't need your fast tongue and your loose floppy gills or whatever.
I'm amphibian. I'm
aware.
Air
What?
and water. I don't have gills.
That's whatever.
Okay.
Your crooky neck thing.
He says, deep beneath the ocean. And he tries to point, realizes he's tied up, nods his head back into the center of the storm. Says, if you're brave enough to make it there.
So it's in the center of the storm. It's in the center of the storm, which is what I said before.
Clearly, try to figure out if there are any defenses that we need to be aware of.
Oh, are there any defenses we need to be aware of?
We have an army, more like me. We will prevent you from closing the portal. The words of the Old One, they speak to us.
What if I told you that my entire ship was just full of depth charges, which is just like giant explosions that happen deep underwater when the pressure gets too much?
He kind of cocks his head and says, I don't understand.
I'm going to explode your city. What are your defenses?
More will come. The storm itself will sink you if need be.
He says the storm is going to sink us and that there's like an infinity number of fish people. Or frog people. I don't mean to be insensitive, but he tried to kill me and burn my ship. So.
Well, we expect there to be a lot of them.
Right.
Do they have like a? I don't know. They have any? Is it just them? Do they have giant hammerhead sharks?
He just said we have an army. I don't. Do you ride sharks down there in your army?
He kind of shakes his head. No.
Is there a kraken down there?
He nods. Aye.
There's a kraken down there. So.
I look at him and I'm like, are you fucking serious? I didn't sign up for no Kraken.
I'm just the messenger.
Well, can you ask him when do they sleep?
I assume in shifts.
Well, that sucks, because I was going to say we could sneak in while the majority of them are sleeping.
I doubt we're going to sneak past an entire city.
Right. I agree.
True, but maybe they go into a dormant state.
Is there a secret back entrance to your city, like an underwater sewer or whatever? I assume you have to
Kind
shake
of
someone.
cocks his head at underwater sewer. He says, There are many entrances and exits to Great Rayquan. The portal is sealed. There is only one way in and out.
Do you know something about a portal, you seekers and...
No, but it's probably rift magic.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
The whispers of God come to us through the portal. You will
Who
stay
come?
away from
Wait,
it.
I'm sorry. Hold on. There's too many people talking to me. Who's coming through a portal?
The whispers
He says to the
of
first
God.
person. He says, okay. He says that they have a god that comes through them through the portal. Does that sound like?
That definitely sounds like rift magic.
That sounds terrible. Is the god the Kraken?
No.
God's not the Kraken. So
Ask if the god
That's
is
good.
silver.
ask if what now?
Is the god the silver lord?
Do you know a silver lord?
No silver. Only
What's your
the
god's
whispers. Nyanaklinkrak. He gives you this like
He
impronounceable
says that
word.
the god's name. They don't know a silver lord, but the god they call is Yanaknakrak. I don't know if that means anything to you, but it doesn't translate from fish language to people language very well.
Fairly reassuring.
Yeah. I think it translates to something like Dark One that slumbers under the waves for all eternity. But I'm not sure if that's an exact translation or just like a colloquial sort of thing that I'm doing there. But it's definitely not the Silver Lord. That was way too simple. And it's not the Kraken, so... God, Krakens are terrible to kill.
I was about to say, I don't see us killing a Kraken anytime soon.
Oh, I mean, not the 5 of us, but...
I worry about the ship.
No, the ship's fine.
That's really reassuring.
I mean, the last time we fought a Kraken, I got away with at least 2/3 of the ship. So, I mean, I had to rebuild a bit, and half my crew died, which is why there's vacancies. If you're still interested, you...
Anywho, I would normally just say, are we going to throw him over the board? But this guy can swim.
Can swim.
So, are we going to poke him through the eye, or...?
I can take care of this.
It's a very specific orifice to poke him.
I pull out.
I mean,
I
it's
pull out
soft.
the greatsword and say, "Have we gotten all the information we need?"
I look at the rest of the party. I can't think of anything, but I'm not, invading a city. Well, I don't do it often.
I mean, usually there aren't cities on the sea, so I don't really invade them, so to speak. So I'm tapped out.
Rose, any ideas?
I know you're enamored by the
Where's-
song I wrote about you, but...
And our, well, where's the elf? The the blue. You know who I mean, right?
The elf.
Yes,
He's
the one who
of
was
these
in
guys.
charge
He
of
in
the ground.
Balesport?
Yeah, but he fled. He took the ship and went away.
Oh.
Maybe he knows it.
The elf now? I mean, I know...
There's a
the-
captain, like a Sea Admiral captain who trades with people in Balesport.
Greg, do I know about this captain?
You could potentially, yeah. You spent some time in Balesport. Why don't you give me a charisma? Just
Would
saving
Drake
throw.
have been at the meeting? That one
Actually,
meeting?
you know what? You have a good point. Drake, were you interested in going to a meeting discussing the trade negotiations and the business and taxation of the docks in Balesport?
So, regardless of whether Drake is interested, he's also a known pirate. It just happens that the 4 people here aren't from the area
Right.
and didn't know that he's a pirate.
Yes.
So as much as he wants to know what the taxation laws are going to be
Right.
to avoid them, I don't think he would be invited to the meeting.
Okay,
You would have
all right.
known
so,
of the meeting for
so
sure.
you weren't
but-
there, but I do think you have a real shot at knowing a little something about this captain, perhaps. So why don't you just give me a charisma saving throw, and we'll see if you've met him or talked to anybody that knows him or what you know of him.
10.
A 10.
Pretty-
You know just the baseless, the most basic rumors of this man.
Okay.
You know that there is in fact a Sea Admiral captain who comes and goes through Balesport. You don't know where his home is, actually. He just kind of appears in certain cities on the coast, Balesport being one of them in particular that he frequents. And he trades in strange kind of exotics.
You're talking about the one that trades all the wonky trinkets.
I think so, yeah. I think so.
I've heard of him. That's all I know, is he trades things, and he's a sea elf.
We think that he might be responsible for what happened to the law, together with that, weird witch, sea witch.
I mean, I know that I'm not really part of your seeker organization here, but why would a sea elf who trades in bits and baubles ally with a sea witch to poison or whatever the Duke? What's the Duke doing? Is he dumping toxic fish?
No, the lady was taking over all the trade in the port, and they were trying to the sea elf captain was trying to transport weird crates into the harbor, and they were dumping some kind of slimy substance into the drinking water. That's all we know so far, but we have no idea why, or where he is from, or what his intentions are.
He jabs the Merrill again. Do you know a sea elf captain?
Aye, the one who comes before. I know him.
What's he all about? He jabs him a few more times.
he just kind of takes the stabbings. He is the one who comes before. He prepares the way for the whispers of God.
Okay, so this is, I think your sea elf captain here is like a priest. He says that, so Fishman says that he comes from before, and he prepares the whispers of God.
He comes from before or comes before?
Before or from before?
He comes before.
He comes before and prepares the whispers of God.
Sounds like he might be spearheading an attack. Like they may be attacking the city.
Where's he coming before? To Fish City or to People City?
He comes before the coming of the Old One, before the whispers of God come and make their presence known to the world.
Oh, and I got it. No, neither. He's actually coming before the whispers of the gods there. I think he's like a messenger of evil shite. That's what I'm getting out of this. I don't think he's prepared anything except for whispers of gods and undersea portals, or
maybe I think the Merrill calling themselves the whispers of the gods. So the god is telling them to attack the city.
Oh, this would be so much easier if you could speak fish people. I mean, I believe that. They seem to be zealots, and the fish guy seems to be doing some crazy things, especially if they're trying to take over all the trade. It does sound like they might try to invade the land, but why?
He says the whispers of their god.
Well,
People
maybe
crazy for religion, okay?
Maybe their people can, their
those
god can mind control people. It's possible. The ladies surely could.
Oh, I once heard of a different kind of fish people, that they pretend that things are real and then they become real. That's terrifying. You ever heard of those fish people?
You think that's possible?
No, I've seen it. It's the scariest thing ever. They just imagine things to life.
That is scary.
They're great fish people with spears and tridents. They're very quick.
Let's not deal with them right now. We're worrying about this fish person.
Oh, right. Sorry. But this seems far less terrifying than the one that can actually...
I don't want to think about it. I'm not a fan of fish people. Jagger, off with his head.
Yes, and I take off the Merrill's head.
All right, and with a clean swing from your great sword, you chop the head of the Merrill, and he's dead. He died. Yeah, that was a great description right there. I really painted an image in all of your minds, didn't I?
One of the best things about owning the ship is that that's someone else's job to clean up. And he just sheathes his rapier and starts to walk away.
The crew members that had run up to attack, kind of sigh a little bit and put away their weapons, go back and get some mops, begin swabbing down the blood on the deck.
There once was a druid like Spriggan.
Excellent. And so the night passes with the crew cleaning up, and upon the morning, you find yourselves heading directly into the fog bank that surrounds this area in the ocean. It is probably as soon as dawn comes up that you see this. A few miles or so away. You'll be there within an hour if you wanted to be. The thick, dense fog just surrounds the entire kind of like region as far as you can see. Like you don't see an end to this fog bank. Above it, the clouds that gathered last night are deep and dark and portend a storm. The winds pick up around you throughout the night, and now you have a high, choppy sea that is difficult to get through. Many of the crew, despite being well-trained pirates, begin kind of whispering amongst themselves, fearful of going forward into this storm. The rumors of sunken ships and forgotten crews have disappeared in this area are quite palpable. You can hear different tales from almost all the different crew members as you go around to speak to them.
Should we jump ship before we reach the center so that we can walk into the city and not land directly in its center?
I was gonna say, Rose, do you have any magics that can calm the weather? I don't know how druid spells work. I'm not a druid.
Calm the weather?
I don't know.
Like end this ancient storm that has been here for thousands of years?
I mean, there's not a lot of druids out here. If it was that easy, that would be great.
I don't think so.
There's a lot that the fire drake can take. We can pilot right through this thing.
Well, that's handy, but I think you're right, Jago. I think we'll get close. Your men can keep the ship from sinking, and we'll just jump in and walk in from there, right?
I feel like you're missing the part where it's deep under the waves. There's no walking in. It's a swim way down.
Well,
I mean,
we could just sink down and then walk in.
I mean, I guess ultimately, the long sink.
Well, my concern with going in from the center is then I imagine we'd be seen coming from above. I guess that'd be good for a strike force, but we don't know exactly where we're trying to get to.
All right, you're looking for a tiny rock. That's right. I was focused on
Yeah.
all the magic items.
How about this? We worry about the little rock, and then we'll maybe kill a king or queen and steal their crown, and you can keep that.
All right.
I got you back.
Perfect.
And I'll keep my monocle on hand, or my loop, and we'll see if we can find some magic items on the way out.
Sounds like a great plan. This is
See?
a hell of a
Everybody's
trip.
happy.
Hell of a trip. Fight a kraken again.
Did you just say trap? Did you just say hell of a trap?
Hell of a trip. Hell of a trip.
All right.
I mean,
What's the
that's
visit?
would be one hell of a trap, but I wouldn't pilot my ship into a trap. That's ridiculous. My ship's way more important than the rest of you. I'd leave your ass here.
All right.
Destiny's on us.
Is the plan then to leave your ship up at?
It doesn't submerge. He's said this a couple of times now. I'm counting.
I understand, but without the five of us here to defend the ship, will your crew survive?
He looks around to the crew, which are all like rough and tumble pirates. And I think they'll be just fine. There's about 20 odd of them on the ship, so I mean, unless a kraken comes, in which case they'll still probably be fine, but dead, good and dead. I don't think the five of us is going to help with that.
I doubt it.
Yes, I had a much larger crew the last time we were attacked by one, and so I think we'd be shit out of
No,
luck.
I doubt that they'll be fine.
Oh, from the kraken? Yeah, no, I doubt that'll be fine as well.
No, from the Merrill. One attack without us here, and
I
would
mean,
have died.
they've survived through bombards and all kinds of other ships and other pirates and seafaring folk and sea
you're a
elves,
pirate.
sky elves. No other pirates attacked us.
All right. When we return and your ship is gone, remember that I warned you.
Well, I mean, unless someone steals it, in which case it'd be a very bad idea.
Drake does not seem like the kind of enemy you want.
There's no lengths I won't go to get my ship back.
Yeah. So, is the plan then to anchor it? I'm a little confused. Are you anchoring it here before the storm, and then you're going to swim to the city? Or are you trying to pilot the ship to the center of the storm, anchor it, and then swim down?
Well, I mean, there's no way to anchor the ship. We're in, like, deep
Right.
ocean. So the ship's just kind of gonna float around and hope for the best at this
Yeah.
point. But yeah, whatever these guys want. Either here we jump out, or we go to the center and jump out.
We can get closer and jump out, so it's less of a swim, right? But I don't see the point in going to the center of the storm and then just coming down on their Cthulhu portal.
Least
I'm
expected.
not about that life.
They'll never expect that. A direct overhead assault from Service Brothers.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we
That's
could
so
do
cool.
that. It would just likely be very violent very quickly. Granted, it might become very violent very quickly, no matter how we enter.
I mean, I'm along here for the ride, so whatever you guys decide to do, that's what it's done.
Have we considered that it might not be wise to assault an entire city of sea folk?
I assumed you guys thought that ahead before you decided to get on the boat and assault a city of seafolk. But here you are, and I'm realizing that you didn't. So
I mean,
We didn't even know they were in the city, you know.
you didn't know that the famous underwater city of Raekwon that sank but 200 years ago or some such thing wasn't full of seafolk.
Yeah, they said they might live somewhere close. They said they might not even live there, so.
Who
Gemma,
told you your rumors?
Oh, he's like an old man with a wagon. He's apparently more than 1,000 years old, so I figured he'd have it down.
Oh, the old coat with the wagon that's bigger on the inside.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, that one.
Shite.
Genlar, can you even cast your magics underwater? I know wizards normally incant their spells.
I'm not sure. I planned on trying that on the way down.
Should we test
Wait.
that before we commit to this?
I can
mean,
help you
I'll-
out if you want me
leg
to.
if you want to hold the other leg, and we can dunk him in with the necklace on and see if he can.
That was my thought. Have him go underwater and see if he can do something.
I
You
mean,
ready for a dip?
can you breathe underwater with these necklaces?
Yes.
That's what they're actually for.
You should be fine.
Well, it
We've had a one of your types in a sort
Chandler
of.
takes out his dagger. I'll be fine regardless.
We've had one of your types on the ship before, and the problem was the breathing in part of talking out, is that it's full of water. And once you say the spell outside, you're all out of air, and then you die. So you get one spell off at least. But if you can breathe the water, you'll be fine.
Will he?
I mean, if you can breathe the
He won't.
water, I assume.
Can you clearly speak underwater?
He did. He cast one fireball, and then.
How would you
went right up.
cast a fireball underwater? Your words make no sense.
I don't know how magic works. I don't use it. I use these and these. And he holds up his swords. I don't have time for that.
Should we test this? I don't trust this man's words.
I agree. We should test it.
I mean, we've got a rope with knots in it already. So
Yeah. Janla, are you ready for a swim?
Yeah, Chandler will just hop off the edge of the boat.
I'm the king of the
holding
world.
This is where the cracker comes in.
You dive into the water and it parts and you dive right into a kraken's mouth and new character. You dive into the water. It is bracingly cold, but you can wearing the periapt you can breathe, and after a moment you feel as if it takes a little bit of probably getting used to breathing in water instead of air, right? It's a difficult thing to make your mind wrap itself around, but after a few moments you feel pretty comfortable, and you get the hang of breathing into your water, breathing in water and breathing out water.
What do I want to cast? Do I have any spells that are any good? First off, I'm going to try casting Shatter. I want to see if that one works underwater.
Okay. Yeah. You cast Shatter, and you speak the words. You make the gestures. It's difficult for you at first, but you get the gestures down. You speak the magic words, and some 60 feet in front of you, a loud and cacophonous rushing echoes through the water. It erupts around you, and it almost feels like the sound is coming from every direction at once. But you hear the eruption of sonic energy. From above on the sea ship, you were sitting there waiting, kind of maybe tensely for a few moments. Nothing happening. Hard to tell what's going on. And suddenly there's just a roiling, bubbling eruption in the water, some 60 or 90 feet away from the boat.
Okay, I take it he can cast magic, and you just hear in your mind, Chandler. So, good work, buddy. You ready to come back up?
Yeah, throw me the rope, and then I'm gonna cast a couple of fire bolts just away from the ship, just to see if those work underwater.
You find that the precise movements of your hands are difficult to do, and you think, just from your testing out here, that any melee or ranged attack from someone who doesn't have a swimming speed underwater will be done at disadvantage unless they have some kind of training in this or they have a specifically watery weapon. So yeah, that's a very meta thing that you learn, but wizards are smart, and you figure it out.
Perfect.
I'm like, I wonder how Esteban's gonna go underwater. Esteban, how do you do underwater?
I have never been underwater. I am the greatest swordsman who ever lived. I have my feet firmly planted on the ground.
Sure. Okay, well, we're going underwater in a minute.
That sounds absolutely terrifying. Do you know what kinds of things live underneath the water?
I do, and I don't like going underwater either. But it's where we're going, buddy. It's where the adventure leads. Lots of fish people to kill, though, so...
Well, I shall spread the word that Esteban Montague Garcia IV, the greatest swordsman in all the land, shall now stake claim to the greatest swordsman under the sea as well.
Glorious.
I'm sorry, who's Esteban?
The sword kind of floats over to you and stands in front of you.
Shite.
Yeah. This is Esteban.
Neat. That's a trick. You got a talking wooden lady, a talking sword. This is nutty.
You should wait till you meet Senba.
What's that? Is it like a talking horse or something?
I looked at the captain and said, "You probably should have charged us far more than you did." Yeah.
I know. Now that I know there's like several more of you, you're just hiding on. You're popping out all kinds of things. Well, now I know. The return trip's going to cost twice as much.
Alright, so are we planning to go down now, or are we going to let Chandler have a
Do I
long...
climb back into the boat? No problem.
You climb back up into the boat. Yeah, there's a long knotted rope that hangs off the side and allows you to make that easily done.
How cold was it?
Shockingly cold, like very cold. Like if you spent an hour in there, you'd probably gain a level exhaustion cold.
Fuck. We didn't plan on the cold thing, did we?
This place is sounding more and more unassailable. Like, I will not be able to fight particularly well underwater. It's apparently freezing cold down there. I see Janlar shivering.
Have we searched the sea folk people?
I mean, we haven't thrown him overboard yet, so why not?
There's just dead bodies on the ship. Like, haven't thrown them over. Like, this will be good for chum.
Exactly. They're not people.
Well, the crew's cleaning it up. You know, they'll get to it eventually.
Okay.
I guess we can shake down one of the dead guys.
All right. You begin shaking down the dead guys. They have a spear and a dagger, and they are all wearing... Actually, I don't think they're wearing anything. Hold on. Let me look. Nope, I'm wrong. They are wearing a shell-like armor over them. It looks to be made out of, like, it looks like a seashell, but as you kind of, like, inspect it, it's much harder and denser. And it kind of encompasses them like a breastplate, and then they have, like, bracers and leggings made out of the same material as well. Each of them held a dagger, a spear, and a net. One of the nets has been slashed to pieces by Jagar. And that is all that they have on them.
Cool. What kind of armor is this shell armor?
This would be medium armor.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah, this is medium armor. It is the like underwater kind of equivalent, you think, maybe, of hide, right? They're kind of like wearing the hide of a crustacean almost.
Gross. I mean, at least you got yourself some pretty fancy armor you could peddle to the land folk.
The shells, that's just smashed up and sold as trinkets.
Ah, see, now you're thinking.
To the crazy old coot with the wagon. He buys all kinds of dumb shit.
I mean, he just buys magic items, but sure.
He just sells magic items. He buys whatever you can sell him. I think I sold him a carrot on a stick once. I think he ate it. The stick, not the carrot.
What kind of flesh did these guys got? Obviously, we poked holes in them. Do they?
They are a different race than you, right? They're
That's
humanoid.
why I'm studying them.
They're humanoid. They look like elves in basic features, but they have a deep green, like sea green hue to their skin, and it's very thick. It is it's kind of like tough. It almost acts like a natural hide, even compared to your own. And they have a lot of like extra kind of rubbery fat underneath of it. But they kind of are humanoids that have a lot of features, like the ears and the kind of thin faces. They look a lot like elves, but you've been assured by the collector that these did not come through the rifts. That these were people that existed under the waves sometime before the rifts opened. Now, that is just the old collector's opinion, so take that.
Is it cannibalism if your crew eats these things?
You tell me, is it cannibalism to eat another humanoid?
I mean,
Only halflings. Only halflings are allowed.
we have an entire galley down there. We've only been at sea for a week.
I know, but I was just staring at them like, we're gonna throw them overboard. But are they like? Does it count as cannibalism? I mean,
It
Well,
is
I'll tell you-
borderline cannibalism.
I'll tell you what you can do, right? If you're weak of stomach, I suggest you block your ears or play the accordion. What you do is you chop them up into pieces, and then you run them through like a fishing line, and then you use them as chum to attract other fish and/or sharks. And then you eat the sharks or fish, and then it's not cannibalism; it's just fishing.
clever. I like it.
Yeah, just chum the water with their meaty bits. You know,
I mean,
Your ship, Captain.
I'm not going to eat them. They look like a man with fishy bits and a frog throat. So,
I
no
don't
offense,
plan
frogs.
to eat.
So it sounds like it's. I mean, do we have any options for the?
Let's not throw them overboard yet if we're going to go swimming, because that may attract sharks or the kraken. And
That's true. What we can do is save them. We'd shove them into bits, put them in a barrel, and then when we get the hell out of here, we dump the barrel over, chum the water as we skedaddle, as they say.
smart.
So, what exactly is the... How do we plan to do this? If there's an entire city of these creatures, we're entering their elements, and none of us are proficient underwater.
Oh, I mean, you're not.
Esteban will be fine underwater. I don't think I'm going to be handy underwater, but I'm good for sneaking, I guess. I could try be quieter than normal. I don't know how that's going to work underwater. I really
My
don't.
point is, if the sea folk come after us, I don't know what we're going to do besides die. We don't really have a good escape route. They're probably faster underwater than we are.
Oh, for sure.
Maybe the rocks will help us? And I was like, I haven't really studied this very much.
The what?
Your necklace, champ. It's got a rock on the end.
It's a gemstone, but yes, a periapt. Yeah.
It's a strange term, but very well. I don't know if it... Janlar, did you feel more free to move under the water?
I mean, I could move around and cast spells, so that was effective. But the frigid cold is going to be an issue. We'll die trying to get down there.
Hmm.
And it only gets colder the deeper down you go.
Didn't they say there was whirlpools closer to the center?
I don't know. We might have been able to ask the.
Wouldn't the whirlpool just cause us to sink to our doom?
Yeah, but
I think that's kind of the point, right? It makes you sink faster.
exactly. We can get down.
But then we
faster.
can't go back up.
Well, that's the problem either way, right? I mean, you swim up, just very slow.
The quicker we get down, we don't freeze to death getting down. And
But then we have to go back up.
But also, whatever goes down has to come back up.
Not entirely true. The city stayed down pretty good, didn't it?
But that could be because of this, like, monster portal thing.
That's a good point. Could we raise Raekwon back to the surface? What caused it to sink in the first place?
I don't think you know the answer to that, right? Like these are questions that like maybe Jagar thinks and you might discover.
Yeah, this is probably more like open musing.
Yeah.
Maybe we should find another way to assail the city. I don't think going under the water is going to work out for us.
Oh, well,
I agree.
Sail for the center. Let's hope for the best.
What?
All right, you heard him. Sail for the center.
I have a feeling this is going to get us all killed.
All right, and with that, the crew, unwilling to balk at the captain's orders, unwilling to look the coward in front of the rest of the pirates, sails forward into the fog bank. It is thick.
You're gonna want to hold on to something. Seas look pretty choppy, and she'll float, but the rest of you look like you'll sink. So
It is thick fog and almost impossible to see forward once you're fully submerged into it. The seas are rougher here even than they were on the outside. The boat tosses and turns and lulls as it crashes through the large waves. The storm clouds overhead only get stronger inside the fog bank. It begins to rain. It begins to thunder and lightning as you make your way through. Soon the crew itself is not enough to keep the ship afloat and on track, and so Drake Ignatius Florentine Leonhard III he takes hold as captain and begins to sail it through. I want a sailing check from you, good sir. It's not at disadvantage or anything. I just want to see how good you are at keeping yourself through this stormy, choppy, awful mess.
I'm incredible at it, and whatever vestiges of sanity thought that Captain Drake had are gone. He is at the helm, and he looks like an absolute wild man. Like that scene from Forrest Gump with Lieutenant Dan. He's just losing it on the wheel as he's sort of screaming at the storm in Aquin, piloting through this massive storm.
You're at the wheel, keeping the ship together. It creaks and breaks. You hear the wood kind of snapping in places, but the ship holds together as you get to the very center of the storm itself. And as you do, you arrive at what appears to be a large kind of typhoon in the center of this fog bank. The waves begin to kind of slow a little bit as you crest the worst of the storm. The thunder and the lightning and the winds keep up, but you are now being pulled towards this typhoon in your boat. What's the plan?
I think Drake goes for it. Like, he just starts shouting out in common, and anyone on top of the boat can hear it, on top of the ship, like the deck can hear it, that he's screaming for everyone to, like, lash themselves to the dock, or lash themselves to the deck, lash themselves to the mast, and he's piloting into the whirlpool.
All right, you begin piloting into the whirlpool to the best of your ability. The ship creaks and groans as it makes its way there. Everyone begins lashing themselves to the mast, to the deck, to anything they can find that's tied down. The ship begins to be pulled in, begins spinning through. It tilts dangerously to one side. Eventually, you are pulled deep into the whirlpool itself. The ship begins breaking apart at the seams. Crew members begin to scatter, tied to different pieces, and you feel a strong, powerful current dragging you down deep into the ocean. As all of you are kind of broken free from the ship, and it begins spinning through. You feel yourself sucked in by this current, deeper and deeper, rushing through as fast as you can go into the ocean. You can still breathe. After moments of panic, you realize that you are not going to drown here, but you are getting rushed as fast as possible. I want all 5 of you to make strength saving throws. If you were trained in athletics, I'll let you make athletic strength to fight their way through this current and not get just slammed into loose debris and rocks at the end of it. Excellent. So we have Jagar with a 25. No, 16.
Are we still on the ship, or are we now in the water?
You have been dragged into this typhoon. You are deep in the water. You are getting
Right, because as soon as we would hit the water, I would turn into a dolphin, right? Like I would turn.
Sure.
shape.
Okay. Absolutely.
We're
Rose,
still
you
saving
shapeshift
through
into
this, or
you shapeshift into a dolphin. You are still like sucked in by this current. You are right in the middle of the like kind of most powerful part of the typhoon. But I will give you advantage on your athletics check.
You said it's a strength throw unless we're proficient.
If you're
have
proficient in
athletics,
athletics, I'll let you go after it.
But not acrobatics, right?
No, athletics. This is strength. This is the current. You are fighting the pull of this as it tries to smash you into the rocks and the cliff sides and everything along the ocean floor.
Greg, out of curiosity, would having a swim speed give me advantage?
Yes. If you have a swim speed on your character sheet for some reason, then you can have advantage.
Sweet.
Absolutely.
Totally.
Yes. So, by the end of this, you are all dragged down deep into the water. It is a chaotic mess of a time. Eventually, you are... Eventually, you are dragged down to the very bottom of the ocean. Everyone who passes a DC 17 on their athletics or strength, you manage to break free of this without being slammed into anything or take anything worse for the wear as you reach the bottom of the ocean. All of you who roll underneath a 17 on your athletics, I want you to take... 17 points of bludgeoning damage as you are slammed into the ground, into the cliff sides, the rocks, the debris of the ship by this rushing current. Also, all of you who failed the strength saving throw, I want you to make a just flat d20. This is a luck-based throw on whether or not your periapt is damaged by the strength of this.
God.
I'm gonna die here, guys. Just so you know.
All right.
Yeah, I'm dead.
Anyone who was under a 12, your periapt is cracked, and you begin needing to hold your breath deep down in this ocean.
That's not happening because I'm knocked unconscious. So.
Oh shit! You took
well,
17.
Do I see Jadla?
Yes, all of you got brushed down into the bottom of the ocean in the same spot.
I might not be unconscious. Hold up. So is this the same day as when we fought the Marrow?
No, this is the next morning.
Okay, then would I theoretically have my arcane ward up because I had cast spells down underneath the water?
If you do that every time, then yes.
Well, because we had been practicing in the water today, right?
Uh-huh.
I would have been casting my spells. I would have tried casting like all of my spells, and I would have had my arcane ward up. So that wouldn't have knocked me unconscious that way. Otherwise, I'd be unconscious because I have 13 HP.
Okay, well, you tell me. Was your arcane
How
ward
long
up?
does the ward last? Because it's probably been like an hour or so.
It's all day. So like, as long as I cast one spell.
Well, you tell me. Did
Actually,
your arcane ward proc or not?
I guess I didn't cast any shield spells today, so no, I'd be unconscious. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Janlar floats unconscious in the water.
Can I see him?
Yes. All 5 of you managed to find yourself at the bottom of the ocean. Some of you slammed into these rocks and cliff faces at the bottom of the ocean here.
Right.
But you are.
I get to use his
fine.
sea map.
Yes. Janlar, you are the one in the most peril. You are knocked unconscious. The periapt is cracked. What do you do?
You said me?
What did the rest of you do? What's going on?
I'm gonna swim. So I'm out of dolphin form, right? Because my dolphin form broke because I took that much damage from the slam. So I'm in normal form. I see Janlari take it.
Yes. You kind of all ended up in the same spot based on the current.
I'm gonna take off my necklace. I'm gonna swim over to Janlar, put the necklace around him as quickly as I can, and then I'm gonna cast Healing Word on him.
Okay. You cast Healing Word on him.
Is that possible to cast it underwater without the thing on, though? Is the question. Well, it makes sense the other way around, I guess. Right? So I would cast it first, and then take it off, and then put it around.
Correct.
Can we do it this way? Is that fair?
Yes. So you cast
Let's
Healing
do it that
Word.
way.
Go ahead and give me the HP that Janlar regains here.
Yeah, let's cast it as...
Do I go into the negative HPs?
No. If you go into negative up to like your max, but after we do that calculation of did you outright die, you just go to 0.
Okay.
Alrighty, so you take 11 points of healing from Rose as she comes over and whispers her prayer of magic upon you. You see the kind of vines on her body kind of shine. They reach out and touch you, and you are healed up. Rose takes the periopt off her neck and places it around yours, and you can breathe. You see that the one is cracked, but what appears to you as you examine it is that it seems to have been dislodged from the crowning that was holding it onto the necklace. You think that perhaps with enough arcane knowledge and a little bit of strength, you could fix this up and maybe it would work again.
Okay, so I guess we'll hold on.
Okay, and I'm not positive. Can I try? Like, don't know what the CR is, but can I try to turn into a hammerhead shark? Or is that too hard? I don't know what that monster is, Buffy.
Let me pull open my shark that you saw here. You saw. Oh, this is the wrong book. You can definitely turn into a watery creature, right?
Right. We'll say a watery creature. I'll figure it out, and I'll let you know what it is.
The shark here for you. Rose, you turn into something that can breathe underwater, and all of you can breathe once more.
That's nice. I mean, don't dolphins have to come to the top of the surface to breathe? So...
They do. Yeah, but I'm not a dolphin anymore. Exactly.
What CR can you go up to?
Just a half, because I'm a landret.
So the giant shark that you saw is a CR5.
Yeah, no way. It's fine.
Can she be a small version of that shark?
I can be something small, but then also my HP low. I'm gonna have a look. I send
the
you
hunter
this.
shark is a CR2. Reef shark. There you go. Reef shark is a CR1/2. Your hit points are like 20 something.
That sounds fair.
Yeah. We'll let you. So you can't be the giant shark that you saw, but I'll totally let you be a reef shark.
I'll be the tiny version. Okay.
Yep. You get your normal-sized reef shark version.
When I get my bearings, I'm gonna be like, sorry about the boat.
Oh, it's all right. Boats come and go. The crew. Well, I mean, boats are forever. The crew come and go. I'll fix this. It'll buff right out. Like I said, the last time we fought a kraken, it was in pieces as well, and it'll be fine. Do you know where you're going from here? Did you get an undersea map, or are we just sort of...
We're winging it.
Floating about? All right.
That's what the questioning was for.
I assume this giant hole here in the middle is going to take us somewhere. Or to death. Either way.
I mean, we're already in the middle of the nowhere. Why not have fun with it?
You know, I mean, worst case scenario, I die and float to the top, and someone finds me.
Or something eats you.
Oh, I mean, you know, that is a worst case scenario. You're right. You got me on that one. Well, into the hole. And he points to the giant hole in the center of this conveniently placed map.
Alrighty, so you guys begin to swim your way up to here, where there's this large hole. As you make your way there, you see. Maybe I'll just zoom all the way out on this, and we'll just treat it as one big map rather than making you move your tokens around. You see kind of like a graveyard of ships here, as pieces of many different types surround this kind of rocky area that the current has dragged you down into. Large patches of seaweed grow up and around different portions of it, almost like a big coat of fur around different pieces of it. It's thick and hard to see through. Barnacles and seashells kind of litter the grounds around these rocky cliffs. There is the kind of large remnants of an old sunken ship here that seems to not have any recognizable markings from a different time. None of you with the sailor's proficiency even recognize it. There's a large looking cave that kind of sinks down into the waters as well, and kind of near the cave and the center of where the typhoon kind of landed you all before you got your bearings here in the corner. So you begin swimming your way up into the cave. All right. I kind of thought we might move our tokens around, but let's do it this way. This makes a lot of sense. You swim down into the cave. And you swim down and down into the water. Eventually, it kind of flattens out, and you swim horizontally some ways before it lifts back up. And inside of the cave, you find that the water comes to a stop, and you find air inside of this giant cave. There are small, kind of fluorescent growing plants and moss around the edges of the cave that give off a small, pale light into the stone. After a brief moment, you realize that you can indeed breathe the air in here. And you hear the sounds of a kind of like sleeping humanoid emanating from off to the right of the cave distance here.
I like, as we come out of the water, and like, I obviously take my last breath of water. As we come out, do we breathe out water?
Yes, essentially. Like, as you breach the surface and you begin taking in air, the stones around your necks kind of glow in that bluish light that the gemstone is kind of naturally, and all of the water in your lungs kind of just expels out, and then you take in your first few breaths of air. It's probably really discombobulating going from one to the other.
That's what I was gonna say. I'd be like,
oh! But eventually you begin breathing naturally in the air once again.
Shall we
You
go
said
see?
we heard a noise?
Yeah, there's like a breathing noise.
You do, like a soft breathing, almost as if in slumber to the right of this cave.
Shall we go see what that noise is? Jagar says as he draws his sword.
Yeah, Chandler will cast mage armor on himself.
I'll be like, do you want me to just sneak up ahead? I mean, I'm a bit squishy, like, but you know, I'm pretty sure I can get it closer and have a gander before you go running in with your sword.
Sure.
All right.
Would you like some company?
Always, more the merrier.
So Hugh and Drake, you begin slowly making your way forward, trying as best you can to squelch the unnecessary watery noises coming from your clothing. As you sneak up on the kind of cave to the right, you realize pretty quickly as you move through here, this cave opens up and is quite expansive to the west. But open to the north here, there's this kind of small breathing and quiet slumber. As you reach up here, go ahead. As you make your way up there, go ahead and give me a stealth check, both of you. Just stealth dexterity seems fine for me. All right. Quick. Sweet. You make your way up stealthily to the top of this cave, and as you peer around the exit of it, you see that there's kind of a marshy, wet mixture here, where standing water has mixed with the cave ground, and it is this kind of muddy, watery hole. And to the left of that, in this corner, is the form of a woman with kind of aquatic features. She's not a Meryl. She's very clearly not of the greenish, bluish, elven tint. She seems to be some other race entirely. There are chains latched into that appear as if they should be latched into a wall that have been pulled out, and they attach to her arms and legs and trail behind her. As you examine the wall, though, you see no sockets or things here. It seems that perhaps these chains came from somewhere else. But she currently lies sleeping, supposedly, as far as you can tell, next to this kind of muddy, watery bit in the cave.
Can I get a roll for hotness, real quick?
Yes, I suppose that you can. Let me...
Because I'm gonna make a joke, so I need to know.
It seems that she's of average looks.
I mean, I whispered to him, I'm like, if she's your type, she's your type.
I mean, I'm into the chains just like everyone else is, but I usually like to put them on myself, and I think she's already got a seaman, I guess.
Oh, just giggle. All right, let's...
Very sneaky, you guys. Very sneaky.
We're just having a giggle amongst each other. She's out cold. All
But
right.
you can hear it through the stupid necklaces.
Yeah.
I don't have it luckily. I gave up.
Everyone but Rose. I feel like Jagar and Jill are just looking at each other and then look at Rose and remember she doesn't have one. And like, oh, thank God. All the boats, all the crashed ships outside look super old, right, Greg?
Yes, for the most part, they looked very old.
If all the ships outside were very old, how did she get down here? Who put her here?
Maybe she's one of those sea witches.
Shite. I think we have a. How does this? I think we have a sea witch. He's trying to whisper it into this. She's got chains on her arm. Hello.
I believe we could use Sandbar.
Do we want to immediately fight her? Do we maybe want to ask?
No. When I was looking at him earlier, he's got a couple layers to him. If she's a sea witch, he'll know.
So what are they saying?
They're asking for you to use Sandbar to determine if the creature they found is a sea witch.
Oh, I can do that. Sure. I'll tell them I'll be right there.
Rose says she'll be right there.
I will cast Pass Without Trace on myself with my nice handy Staff of the Woodlands that I have. And expand a mossy ground around myself as I sneak up to that sleeping lady with Standby in hand. And I'll pull him out and point him towards the sleeping woman.
All right.
I'll see.
You take out Sambar and kind of stealthily point Sambar in that direction. Sambar, you see a humanoid there. Sambar, you don't have any particular reason why you might recognize an underwater race, but with the true sight granted to you by the magics that bound you to this mace, you do not notice her being a shapeshifter or of any other form. What you see is exactly as it was described before.
Okay. Sambar's like, so what's with the lady? I mean, I like the chains. It's a nice touch. Some sort of prisoner you've taken?
No, we just found her. I mean, this is all telepathically, you know. So we just found her down here. We're not sure who or what she is. Greg, she does look. You said she looks like an underwater person, but not like an underwater elf. Does she have normal skin, or does she have like?
She does not look like a Meryl, right? She doesn't have the same skin coloring as they do. She has kind of pale, almost translucent skin, right? Like it's so pale that it looks like it's never really seen the sun. Her hair is long and dark, but she looks thin, and she has kind of like some webbing in between her hands that are visible. And that is, I mean, she looks like a humanoid, but definitely not human.
But she still looks more human than I do.
Yeah, probably. Spriggans very specifically look very unhuman, right? They're humanoid trees as opposed to humanoids who breathe underwater and stuff, right?
Well, let's go say hi.
Oh,
if she starts walking, we can put a sword in her throat.
I'm gonna say yes to the first part. I'm gonna say no to the second part, and I put Sambar back on my belt. And I'll carefully approach her, and I'll very gently shake her shoulder.
All right, Rose. You approach and kind of shake the shoulder of this woman. As you do, you realize that, yes, she was asleep, and she opens her eyes and kind of looks up at you. But as you are close and right next to her, you notice that her breathing is kind of low and ragged. She looks like somebody who is malnourished. Looks like somebody who maybe isn't sick because they like got a cold or something, but sick because they just like haven't been well cared for. Her eyes kind of flutter open in a soft and kind of weak voice. She speaks to you in an Aquan kind of language. It sounds much more like pretty and manageable when it comes out of her voice than the Meryl's. Drake, you hear this and can translate it as, hello, help me. I'm so tired, so hungry.
She's tired and hungry.
I escaped the Meryl when they took over the city, but my sister didn't. I didn't get far. I took refuge here.
How long ago did the Meryl take over the city?
She kind of tries to count and says, I don't know, I've lost track of time. Maybe a few months, half a year at most.
Okay, so she's been down here for, in this cave, I think, for about 6 or 7 months. She said that she tried to escape the city when the Meryl took over. And her sister...
Right. Well, that's sad. I'm sorry to hear that. I'll cast Goodberry, and I'll just put 10 little berries into her hand. Tell her she can eat those. They are safe.
You can eat those. They're not poison.
She kind of nods and responds by just kind of like delicately trying one, and then voraciously consuming the next 9.
Oh, you're gonna get sick. I've had those before.
She nods her head as you kind of warn her, maybe like slows down a little bit, but is very hungry. She says, "It's so hard to eat here. They send patrols out here. They look for me. I hide here. Can't always eat."
Right. So the Meryl took over the city. Why?
We don't know. We came some years after the rift, us Triton, and we settled Raekwon. It was a good city, nice to have a home under the waves. But the Meryl showed up. They liked a stone somewhere out here. She kind of nods her head back to the back of the cave some and says, I think there's one like it in here. They kept showing up and they seemed to worship something dark and sinister. Eventually their numbers were too great for our warriors. We're not much of a warrior race. And some months back they took over. There was some room they wanted where my father and he kept the court.
Oh, shite, you're... Okay, so... hold on. I'm back in common. Okay, so Cliff Notes version. I think she's a princess. She's a Triton. They took over the city of Raekwon. Then a few months ago, the Merrill took over and shit it all up. Also, there's a weird stone in here that does something. I think the Merrill come out of it or something like that. Also, the Merrill worship a dark god, which we figured that out, and they want the portal.
Are there more Tritons around? Is she the last one?
Not in here. She escaped, and her sister, the other princess, I think she died, probably, or she's in the city trapped. But she said that the Merrill overpowered the city, and that they were too much for their city guard. So I'm assuming that if there are, they're mostly dead or in hiding like this.
Okay, I'll fetch the others. I'll be right back. I like walk back and I fetch Jagger and Janla. Double J's.
Did she forget that they can hear us?
I don't know.
He doesn't have a necklace, right?
Oh, right. I forgot the one was dying.
Right, so I'll fetch the other two and bring them over. So we could give them the re.
All right. Yes, you catch up the whole party on the situation. Eventually, she kind of looks up to you, Drake, and says, "I thank you so much for helping me. If you could you find my sister?"
She wants us to find her sister.
I mean, when we're at it, why not?
Sure. Yes, of course. Just know that when we find your sister and we rescue your city and stop the Merrill, that it was Captain Drake, the greatest sea captain above and below the ocean waves.
Oh, of course, Captain Drake. I will tell my father of it, of the people.
That's great. Sing the praises as far as you can, through all the seas. The best thing you could do.
Yes, of course. They tried to take me my sister to the dungeon as well. They're on the north side of the city mostly. If you could find her there, just make sure she's safe. She's not as strong as I.
Do you know of any secret entrances into the city? You see, there's just 5 of us, and a lot more of them.
She kind of shakes her head. Secret? No. You can swim in anywhere you like. The city, it's like a circle. There's many districts in it. You can enter any of them.
Right, I'm looking to avoid getting stabbed to death.
She nods vigorously in agreement.
Yeah, no, I know you know all about it. You did it on the way out, but I'm trying to go in. So the less stab wounds that I take and that they take, the better we are at saving your sister.
She says, the west side of the city, the one that you're going to, if you continue this way up north, well, I guess technically west, north on the map that you have on the other screen. You'll come across the western expanse of the city. It's there that one of the districts is destroyed. Some horrible event in the past, I'm sure. It was never settled. You could start there. The Merrill are mostly on the north side. My people used to mostly stick to the east and north sides as well. But you could get in, I suppose, and start from there, relatively unopposed, assuming there's no patrol.
Now, you had mentioned a stone in the cave?
Yes. She nods her head kind of towards the back. I don't know much about it, but I hear that I heard rumors that the Merrill worship the stones. They spoke to them or something. There was supposedly one out here, just outside the city. I don't know if it's the same one, but there is a strange stone in the back of the cave.
We'll take a look. Guys, what you were looking for a stone as well, right? To save from the Duke and the Sea Hag or whatever. What's that look like? What's it called? Does it have a name for it?
The Lost Verse Stone.
The Lost Verse Stone. All right. Do you know anything about the Lost Verse Stone?
The Philosophers.
Oh, the Philosophers. I didn't hear what you said. I just was winging it there. You know about the Philosopher's Stone?
That's what you said, right?
She shakes her head, like, no. She doesn't seem to recognize it.
Do you know of any magical stones besides this one inside the city?
She thinks for a moment, shakes her head a little bit. No. My father's vaults have some magic in them. I don't know of stones per se, but I wasn't really allowed to play in the vaults.
Got it. So, her father might have the stone if he's not dead.
I'm going to telepathically talk to you. We can get into the vault. Like, I got you there, but we need to know where the city is, because at the moment we're just in the generalized water area.
We got to go west. We can enter into the west side of the city. It's all ruins, and all the evilfish people are in the north. But that's where her sister is, and where probably the capital is, and her father with the philosopher's stone that you're looking for.
So it is west of here, not we're going in from the west?
It is both of those things. The west side of the city is west of here. If we just continue going in a general this way direction, the westernmost side of the city.
Okay, cool. All right, let's go crack this crystal, hey?
Yes, there is that they were praying to it.
Oh god, here we go.
All right.
No, exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Oh gods.
You make your way to the kind of back of this cave. To
The whole party at this point, right?
I assume so.
Yeah.
You guys aren't moving your tokens at all, so I'm just
I moved up, but I didn't know what was going on.
I'm just narrating to you, so if you want to change the fiction, you just need to let me know, right?
Okay.
So the party makes their way to the back of the cave. You can see a large kind of standing stone in the very, very back. It seems almost ancient. It is made of a dark, glassy, like black substance, and it almost seems as if it has grown rather than been shaped out of the floor of this cave. It has no visible markings on it, but it radiates just like a soft kind of glow, much like the phosphorescent moss in this cave does.
Does the seeker mark on my palm start to flare up when I get close to it?
It does, yes. All of you with seeker marks feel kind of a soft burn as they react to the rift magic emanating in the area.
I take out my loot and I'll have a look at it.
As you get, as you take the loop out, you recognize that the stone emanates divination magic, and it is of wondrous rarity.
I'll move up and I'll be like, divination magic, and this is wondrous levels. Maybe we can lug it back. I wouldn't mind cashing in on this.
How big is this thing?
Tie it to the ship. Float you back up.
To like look at it with your loop, you realize that you are very warm in this area, almost as if the stone itself gives off like heat, ambient heat, begins to warm your bones from the chill of the cold sea.
Hey, come closer to this. It's warming me up here. Like, I don't mean don't touch it. Obviously, might take you to the infernal realm or something, but like, come warm up, guys, and we can decide if we're gonna crack it or we're gonna tie it to the bottom of the ship like an anchor and then pull it back up, or...
It needs to go to Sarmanath. The thing is rift magic, not ordinary magic.
Good point, good point.
Greg, is there any Aquan writing on it, by chance?
It is unmarked. It is... There's no markings visible on it, but it is made of this kind of, like, glassy black stone.
What did you say the stone was for?
She said that the Merrill, they pray to it.
I'll give you my share of the gold if you touch it.
Boom.
The moment you touch the stone, you are granted with a vision of your birth. And you see, you probably don't recognize it, but you see a vision of your character's birth. Do you continue to touch the stone?
Yeah, he's watching this.
All right. After a minute of touching the stone, you've received this vision. I need you to make me a DC 25 Wisdom saving throw.
Oh, I fail.
Wow.
Yeah, I fail. I cannot roll that.
Okay. So
I just didn't want to roll a 1, so yeah.
All right. So as you continue touching this, the vision of your birth fades away, and you begin getting bombarded with images of your characters' past lives, of future events, of different stages in the world. You see things happening now. You see things you know are happening in the future. You see wars. You see nations rise and fall. You see cataclysms. You see the entire span of the world's timeline flashing at you as fast as can be. You are going to need to roll me a 1d4, please.
Sure, that's not ominous.
If he starts glazing over after a little bit, I'm gonna kick him in the chest to make his hand disconnect.
Alrighty. As you pull your hand away, all of these things keep clouding your mind, and you begin to hear whispers of an ancient voice lull through your head. You have gained a new madness. You are believe you have unlimited power. With this knowledge that you have gained from the stone, you think you know the outcome of every event in your life. And you believe full-heartedly in this, to the point you try to convince others that all of your actions are correct due to this gift.
It fits in perfectly.
So literally no change.
Yeah, like what's different?
This, of course, is a lie. Your arrogance will be your downfall, but you are utterly convinced that you know every event in your life.
So I want you to know,
So wait, does he have to re-roll if he gets the same madness twice?
So before this happened, my pride will probably lead to my destruction. So nothing has changed.
Really will be.
Nothing has changed.
Would you like to roll again for a different madness?
Absolutely not.
No.
That's perfect. Like, did you see him pilot through the storm? He's insane. He's not altogether with it.
Perfect.
So he lets go of the thing and goes, well, good news and bad news. Good news is that I'm getting my ship back, so that's going to be great. Don't know when, but sometime in the next, 20 to 30 days, I think. But as long as you don't die here, it's going to be a longer trip if I have to swim back myself. But I figured out where the fish people got all their crazy shite going on in their head. If you touch the stone, crazy things happen. You see visions of the past. I saw my own birth. I met my mum. I saw the future. There were wars. There was all kinds of crazy things. The city came back. It fell down again. And I spoke to a new dark god. So I think maybe save this crystal. It's pretty important. And I think that there's a dozen or so more of them.
I can't tell if he's harrowed or if this is just his normal candor.
A bit of both.
It's the same way either. There's more of these stones. I think if you put them together, maybe lash them to something like an obelisk, I think something might happen.
How big is the stone?
It is a standing stone that has grown out of the thing here. You think that it is probably 10 to 12 feet tall.
And it's rooted into the ground?
Yeah, it seems to have almost just grown out of the ground. It looks more like a growth than an actual, monument.
It seems unlikely that we'll be able to take this with us.
I mean, there's enough broken ship out there that we could probably float it to the top if we figured out.
I mean,
I think we destroy it by taking it out of the ground. It seems like it's connected to something deeper.
Well, maybe if we just close that portal and the connection fades by itself.
That's possible. Either way, we should leave it for now.
I will say that if all of the fish people were praying to this, then they've seen all the same things I've seen, which is, I'm pretty sure the entirety of the future, so...
They've seen your birth and your mum?
I assume they've seen their own pod or...
Well, how do you know it's not your birth specifically? That's
could be, and in which case I'm some kind of a prophet. Then I should charge way more for my boat rides. But in the meantime, they might have seen the entire future, which means they definitely know we're coming. They probably know it's coming from the west. So,
I feel like we should just go to the west anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems the quickest way.
Also, if they know we're coming, they know that we know, and then they won't be looking in that direction, right? This is the problem with seeing the future.
I've seen several different possibilities of the future, so if they know we're coming to the north, they'll be in the north. It's a weird time thing. So I could touch it again.
No, we're good.
No.
Yeah.
Or batty as it is.
I mean, I'm sure that it would reveal more of the future.
Nope.
All right,
Nope.
well, your loss.
I feel like Jaeger will be happy to cut your head off if you keep touching it. So let's not touch
Be
it.
happy as it is.
No, I like to keep my head right where it is.
Yeah, so let's go for a swim.
All right.
All right.
Is there anything else like up here as we're like leaving? I'll pop
You
my
go
head
through the
in and-
cave, and there's nothing more of note beyond the. Everywhere in this cave, there's this kind of phosphorescent plant and moss that kind of grows out of the rocks and gives off a slight kind of glowing light. You also kind of come to the realization that maybe this is what fills the cave with oxygen, is whatever byproduct of this plant might be.
Oh, that's handy.
I
Chandler,
want to take a tiny sample of that plant.
I was gonna say, Chandler, shove some down your throat. Maybe you'll be able to breathe underwater.
You chew it up and eat it.
Why don't you
Maybe.
try that?
I mean, I've had my fair share of edible mushrooms in my time. It's usually a pretty good time. Either it tastes great or it tastes terrible and leaves you on a fun trip. So,
I just realized where you were going with that. I'm gonna get a good amount, like a piece, and put it in my bag.
All right. As soon as you scrape the tendrils of this plant, the roots of it, off of the rock and the wall and the floor, it ceases glowing its phosphorescent glow. But you can put your bag full of the plant material. How many pounds of phosphorescent moss and plant would you like to take with you?
Just a pound.
Okay. You get a full pound of phosphorescent plant and put it in your bag.
Yeah, because I can get it looked at later. Maybe it does have properties that we can use.
Okay.
The lady is still in the cave, right?
Yes. She hasn't moved much. She seems very weak. Seems that
you
her
think
strength was
she's-
waning.
Yeah. Do you think she's going to be okay if we just leave her here?
Maybe we should tell her to get some toe time in the water. I feel like fish people should stay in the water. But other than that, we can't really help her right now.
Can't we at least get the chains off somehow?
Why is she
I-
chained up to begin with? Isn't she hiding?
I think
They
she escaped
Not
from
chained up.
the
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she took the chains with her, you know.
can I just take the chains off, like unshackle her with my thieves' tools?
Absolutely. You go up with your tools and find that they are quite well made, and they're designed in a lock type that you are unfamiliar with. But you get out your tools and begin going to work with them. Go ahead and roll me a thieves' tools check.
I will help if it'll give him advantage.
Okay, absolutely. Yeah, that will go ahead and give him advantage.
What stat would you like me to use?
A
'Cause
thieves'
it's-
tools is a tool check, right? So it'll be a. Oh, I want you to use dexterity with your tool check. This is a fingers
And I'll take
subtles.
advantage. A 20.
A 20, yes. With Drake's help, keeping like the tools set just right.
Yeah,
You're
hold
able
my
to.
lantern. Hold my lantern, alright?
No, I'm actually pretty good at this, the lantern part. I love lantern.
All right, you wiggle your tools in there and you click them open, and the shackles fall off her wrists and ankles one at a time. She kind of smiles up at you and thanks you profusely in Aquan. She looks to Drake and says, "So you are going after my sister? You're going to free her too?" And as you kind of nod and smile at her, she takes a pair of like silky white lacy gloves out of a like pocket in her kind of torn dress and hands them over. And she says, "These will help you. I'm sure. Use them. You can. Those who can't swim will swim better."
Cool.
I don't know if
Can
those
you-
would fit me, but like lifting up my massive calloused hands.
Can you ask her if her sister has anything on her by which we could identify her, like a ring or a necklace? Or...
She kind of smiles and says, "She'll look just like me." We're twins.
They're twins.
Right, but she has no item which I could locate. That usually helps, you know.
She shakes her head, holds up a chain maybe, and says, perhaps she still wears shackles similar to mine?
Right. Okay. And I'll look at the gloves and I'll be like, so are they for Chandler, or what are the gloves for?
Oh, they make you swim better. I'm fine.
Wait, Rose, if your parry-up isn't working, do we need to wait till tomorrow so that you can shapeshift again?
Well, one sec. For how long do we intend to swim?
An indefinite period of time, presumably. The city is underwater, isn't it?
It is.
We can't go very long underwater without freezing.
Well, like I said, there's more of those statues dotted all around the place. So if we go from statue to statue, then
We could probably warm up by it without touching it.
I mean,
you can touch it as well.
by the looks of the previous map, it didn't seem that deep in this area. I think we should be okay.
I mean, we're at the bottom of the ocean, so it's pretty deep by default.
True.
I mean, if I for one can't see out there because the whole, no sunlight.
Yeah, I'm the same.
So, if anyone's got any of that light magic or,
I don't think my lantern's gonna work under.
I don't think so.
Do you have light, Chandler?
I do not. We used to use the globe, but we traded that.
And we lost Tom, I guess.
Yeah, Tom
You
was
keep
the bringer
saying
of
about
it.
all these people you're losing. That's a lot of... I mean, granted, I know I just sacrificed my entire crew, but, I mean, you seem far more attached to these people than I was. No offense, Hugh. If you still want to join, there's still plenty of open spots.
There is nothing but open spots, in fact.
Turns out I need a new first mate, and you seem pretty quick on it, so...
We'll see. We'll see.
It's looking better and better at this point.
He was just gonna retire after this. Go follow Drake as a pirate. We'll roll in another new character for Millman.
You're like, you know what?
Tiring him.
Fuck this. This adventurous shit sucked so far.
So I could breathe underwater, it wouldn't be the problem, but I can't. I don't think I can create any light to help us.
I can't.
I can cover us all in fairy glitter, but then we're gonna be lit,
Well, can these don't do anything else? Can I look through the cavern? Is it dark the way we came?
Yeah, the water is dark.
Can I see okay, or am I completely blind by dark?
I honestly didn't consider the fact that you wouldn't be able to see, because you usually have a light cleric, a globe of daylight, and a second cleric with you when I wrote this adventure.
We've lost all three of those
you've
things.
lost all three of those things. So for the purposes of making this adventure work, I think you should be able to see just fine under the water, right?
Okay. I'll take it.
The city is magically lit.
Otherwise, I think we're just gonna have 5 adventurers sitting in a cave, hunting sharks for a while until, they level up and get a light spell.
High enough.
Yeah.
If we go into the ocean and we kill sea boars.
Yeah, exactly. Just grind on sharks for a while.
We try to fight a kraken. One of us gets down. We back out. Think about our life choices.
I could actually, so I don't have it today, but if I had known, right, I could create a daylight spell. That's something I could do. But that only lasts an hour.
I mean, that would
Just
rudely awaken anybody who lives in the underwater city.
It would.
Yeah, maybe let's just move. Let's make sure that we can't see before we commit to making blindingly bright light that's going to alert everyone to our presence.
If these stones are linked together, is there any way that I can sense where the next closest one is, besides the one in this cave?
Would you like to touch it again and try?
Kind of, but not with that smile on your face. Although, I mean, he's 100% confident that will work. But he poses it to the group. Says, listen, absolutely sure that if I touch that stone again, I
No.
can figure out where the next one is.
No.
And then we can go.
No.
But the frozen
No.
ocean.
No.
You could find
You're
it.
confident.
All right, well, I guess it's not worth the risk of living. Fine.
He's like, fine. All right.
Suit yourself. I live no matter what.
All right. So, after spending some time here, the 5 of you head back out into the ocean. The lacy gloves are gloves of swimming and climbing. Any one of you can wear them if you so desire.
Want to wear them, Drake, or do you want me to wear them?
Oh no, I can swim perfectly fine.
Jenla, do you want to wear them?
I'm a terrible swimmer.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can put them on. Because if I have a
You're
swimsuit, I don't
gonna
get
rip them.
disadvantage
Look
on
at your
attacks.
head.
Amazingly, magical gloves have this ability to like resize themselves, and as you put your
And then-
giant
They're like
manly
latex. You're like,
hands, as you put your giant manly hands inside these lacy thin gloves, they just kind of stretch over your fingers until you have a very nice lacy white silk glove over your
wow.
hand.
You're
I
the
have
most
no idea how hard it was
ladylike-
to find gloves that fit me when I was younger.
ladylike two-handed
All right,
weapon.
so you are granted
wielding-
a swimming and climbing speed equal to your walking speed while you wear them.
Okay, and then because I have that, I don't get disadvantage on attacks, right?
Correct.
Awesome.
And so the 5 of you swim off out of the cave back into this map here.
I use my
where
so
would you
I use
like-
those 10 minutes right of planning to cast water breathing.
Okay.
And all 5 of us now have water breathing for 24 hours, so even if our stuff breaks, we are still protected. We can at least breathe underwater.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. A quality spell. I like it. So you exit this cave here in the center. There is the many shipwrecks around you, the reefs. You know that west is up this way. There's a kind of a break in the cave system up that way, and that is where the woman in the cave kind of pointed you towards going. Is there anything you wanted to explore here? Or are you making your way straight to the city?
I was gonna say, telepathically, I'm like, do we want to search the ships?
Let's do that later. Let's not overburden ourselves.
I mean, if we search the ships now and put it inside the cave there, who knows if our escape needs to be hasty? We could be being chased by an entire army of Merrill, so...
But if we're being chased out by Merrill, we can't carry the treasure with us anyways, at which point it'd be wasted effort.
But
That's
he
true,
can
but
come
it-
back later with the ship and retrieve his goods.
That's
I'm not
true.
doing this a second time.
And there could be a magical sword in there, you don't know.
I'm not doing this a second time.
We can come back later.
This was dumb enough the first time. I still can't believe you sailed right into a typhoon.
My first mate and I will come back the next time. Right? He, like, nods to you. Also, I don't want to prescribe something completely elaborate and out of line here, but if you two can't swim very well, and the 3 of us can swim very well, I might want to tie you onto something, or else it's going to be real slow going, with you just sort of bobbing around on there. No?
Yes, I will be very slow trying to swim.
Yeah.
Might be best tie me to someone.
Yes. That's what I'm thinking. So I start, like, floating away from the back.
I love it. I love it. You're just gonna tow the wizard along behind you.
Is there a problem with Rose like floating up to the surface away from us?
I don't think so. I mean, she's a awakened tree, kind of, but she's a tree person, right? I think there's some amount of humanoid in there that makes her denser than a driftwood, you know?
Okay, so she's not a witch.
No. Rose is not a witch.
Perfect.
I'm not a sea hag.
All right.
No.
So you tie Janlar up to Drake to be towed along with the party.
Yeah, whoever
Wait,
can't swim.
maybe shouldn't I do it to Jaeger? Because Jaeger, because he's got the magical.
So do I. That's what
Oh,
I'm
you
saying.
got
So the 2 of us have magical swimming abilities.
Okay.
So yeah, if the rest of you don't, we should tie you off to us
Okay.
combined and drag you along with us. Because I have a swim speed of 30, and I think so does Jagger.
I think I have a walking. Walking is not 30, right?
Your
you
regular
swim
movement speed on your
comes
character
over.
sheet, so I think it should
Oh,
be 30.
okay. You were saying walking, so I thought
That's
you meant
what it's
float.
called. It's a walking speed.
Yeah, so
Okay,
your
yeah,
swim
so
speed.
we both have 30 then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you guys don't, I think you move at like half speed.
Fucking
That's correct.
fish boys over here.
Yeah, I have a dope shirt. It's mariner's armor.
He's got a dope shirt.
I mean,
All
I
right,
figured
so
I'm a
you-
ship's captain. I might as well have the mariner's armor.
Yeah, it's good stuff. You tie Janlar and Hugh and Rose to the back of Jagar and Drake and begin towing them along the ocean, bypassing the ships that were wrecked here, bypassing the many beds of seaweed and corals. You begin making your way up here to the top right corner of the map, where there is a kind of channel leading out of this kind of rocky indentation, where you all see a patrol of Merrill making their way from the west into this area towards you as you swim that direction.
Should we wait and ambush them?
Or we just wait till they go by. I think it's a patrol.
You find 5 Merrill, all of them riding giant seahorses that are making their way towards the ship and the cave where you came from. There's a leader as well who rides a normal-sized shark ahead of the pack. So you guys see them coming some ways away, and they have not noticed you as of yet. So what is the?
So they're heading toward the cave?
They're heading from some unknown location towards where you guys are swimming from.
I'm not about fighting a shark. Let's hide, guys.
Guys,
Let's hide in the
lied to
boat, but
us.
if they go into the cave, we have to stop them.
I'm perfectly clear that if we take these guys, we can ride that shark. At least one of us can. Probably Rose.
Let's see where they go first. Let's hide in the ship.
Rose, you're a druid. You can ride whatever animal you want. I've seen
Rose,
it.
how are you even able to talk right now?
I mean, I guess I can only breathe, so I don't know. Yeah, because I'm complaining with my gestures. So.
It's frantically bubbling.
All right. So
All right, let's hide in this boat and ambush them if they try to go into the cave.
Perfect.
Okay.
I wanted to explore this boat anyway.
I want you to do 2 things for me. Who's choosing which side of the cave of the boat you're going into?
I'm going to go to the closer side, but I'm going to pull up my hood in the process.
All right, I want you to roll me a D2.
Yes.
A what?
A D2.
A D2.
Or a D100 when lows or highs. Just give me a 1 of 2. Okay. So, you hide your way into this boat. I want the 5 of you to make a group hide check.
Okay.
So let's go.
I assume the armor does not penalize me in this case, right?
No. In this case, so this is not a dexterity-based like check. This is like you're trying to slink through the shadows where the armor is going to hurt you. This is like trying to hide from their sight. I want you guys to make a stealth wisdom check to get yourselves down and low and hidden away from the rest of the party.
Okay.
I just dropped 2 off of mine.
Oh, okay. You already rolled. That's fine. So that's a 20.
Wait, is it a disadvantage? You said?
No, just a stealth wisdom check.
I have advantage because the cloak.
Okay.
Alrighty.
I
Jadar with a
mean, I don't get mine because
17.
this is not grass. Is that right?
This is not grass, correct. No.
Right.
Doesn't yours turn to whatever?
8.
8. Are you not trained in stealth?
I am.
Okay, so
Oh,
stealth
I'm trained,
plus
so
wisdom.
it's so 5, so 10.
10. Okay. 27.
Oh, no, I have 0. I know. It's an 8. I have 0 wisdom.
Oh, I see. You have 0
Yeah.
wisdom. Okay. My brain
Yeah.
broke there.
So 8, 17, 9, and 20.
Not great.
Yeah, 20.
Okay. I threw my dice on the floor. New dice. Okay.
Looks like we're fighting them.
You begin hiding for a period of time in this ship. The patrol becomes swishing through. Jagar keeps kind of poking his head out a little bit, just making sure they don't make their way into the cave. After some period of tense, silent moments underneath the ocean, eventually, Jagar, you see the patrol make its way through here and back out the way they came from that hole in the ground. They did not seem to find you in your hiding spot in the shipwreck.
Did they go into the hole?
They did not go into the cave while they explored their way through here. They wandered through the grasses. They picked up some of the new like wood and rope and stuff from your ship that is kind of cascading down here. But they did not go inside the cave itself.
What's the plan here? And we sneak up behind them and kill them and take their shark, or?
No, I think we're going to follow them, but we're not going to try and ambush them anymore. They're probably too close to the city at this point.
All right, well, here we go.
So, the five of you begin swimming into the passageway to the west. And you make your way. It takes you about an hour. As you clear the rocky slope, all of you... I'm going to get this right on stream first. All of you see this in the distance in front of you. A large city in circle underneath the water. It is built in an old ancient construction. It reminds you of a human city. To the north and eastern sections, there are large kind of globes of light emanating around it. A construction of aquatic design, newer, much more recent than the ancient stones of the city itself as you swim towards it. The aquatics here seem to be where the Merrill were said to live on the north and the east. These new kind of constructions added to the city is. To the west and south, it lies in kind of more darkness, where the humans' kind of settlements are left alone with no new construction on them. And sure enough, though, those section most close to you has been kind of turned to rubble, destroyed. It looks as if like there are very few, if any, buildings standing in that section. As you swim kind of down and closer into this, you do see a kind of small standing stone, identical to that of the one you found in the cave. And it looks as if the patrol of Merrill have dipped down and stopped at this for some time. And they're kind of circling and surrounding this as they all lay their hands upon it.
Oh, hey, what happened when I touched that?
I mean...
What did I do when I was touching it?
You just blanked out for a minute and then came back even crazier.
That can't be true. What if we smash into them and they touch it and they'll get dazed and then they're far easier to kill and take their shark?
We could rush them right now if they're taking their time to pray at the statue. It would have overwhelmed their senses, right? You said you just got overwhelmed by a vision?
I did. I saw all kinds of visions all at the same time. Future, past, present, etc.
Should we ambush now?
If we're going to ambush at all.
Yeah, if they're going to be under, like, above water where they're at, it's probably the best time.
Wait, Rose, I know you can't talk to me, but if you nod your head, can you talk to a shark or ride it or something? Good enough for me. Perfect. Shark's way faster than we are.
All right. And with that, I guess it is decided. Drake and Jagar, you towing your friends behind you, begin swimming rapidly towards the Merrill, standing, touching the thing. I want you to just roll like an opposed initiative against them to see if you beat them from their like reverie touching the stone.
Okay.
They are going to have
16.
They have 15, so both of you...
So is that surprise?
Yeah, both of you beat them. They are not only surprised, right? They are still like enchanted by whatever magic is going on with the stone. All of the Meryl are touching it. The seahorses and the shark are some distance away from them, not near the stone, kind of just swimming around in a circle next to them. So you can bum rush them. Everyone gets a round of actions here as you rush in. They are completely like surprised, unaware of you. All the bonus advantages.
Okay.
Through the spinal cord, right? Like,
Yeah, I'm gonna go for one and do the penalized attack here.
All right, absolutely.
Which is a crit.
Woo, boy.
So the first one's gonna take 46 plus 14. He takes 33 points of damage.
Wow! Alright, you cleave into him for 33 points of damage. Blood just kind of sprays up around the Meryl in the water. And you...
Is that a kill?
You do not kill him, but you
Okay.
know that he is very... Like, he looks weakened and kind of begins floating up away from the stone.
Then I'm going to do just a normal attack. Second time. That is not a crit, just barely.
That will hit, though.
86 plus 4. He takes another 10.
Another 10! You don't have any more damage in there?
No, but I do get a third attack as a great weapon master.
You get a great weapon... For critting, right?
Yeah, for crit.
Yep. Go ahead and make that attack.
Okay. It's... Check. Yeah, it doesn't matter. So 20 is a hit, I assume?
Uh-huh.
Alright. So that's probably gonna kill him.
That kills him. Yes. You
Okay.
come racing up, hacking in. You take a final swing. The Meryl in front of you dies, blood in the water, and it begins dispersing throughout the ocean around you. Who's next? Let's just go down the list here. Rose, what do you do with your round of surprise?
Right. Am I close enough, or did they drop us somewhere in between?
You're tied to the people swimming in here.
You're
so
probably
you're
like 15,
right
20
there.
feet back from me.
Yeah.
Okay. Is I actually would have disadvantage, I think, because I can't swim right now. Like, I don't think it would be good.
But you have a surprise round, so you have advantage, I think. So
Yeah,
it balances
it'll
out.
even out to a normal roll.
Yeah.
For this one. Right, but like, would I be able to fairy fire somebody without hitting my two companions, or no?
It would be difficult to fairy fire all of the enemies and not hit Drake and Jagar. If you wanted to hit 3 of them, and
Right,
not hit your allies.
I'll try for 3. I'll try for 3.
Absolutely. So you cast your fairy fire, you wrap your magics around. Pink and blue and orange light erupts around the creatures in the back. And 3 of them are fairy fired. Okay.
Oh, nice. That was easy.
Excellent.
Okay.
So that is Hugh. What are you doing? Millman.
yeah,
you're right.
sorry. Getting messages, and I was like,
let's see.
my turn. Yeah, I'll stab one of the guys that is fairy-fied. And I'll get
Absolutely.
Esteban to also have a go at underwater killing.
Esteban slides out of his scabbard as your command and races forward to stab at him.
Yeah, so I'll go my attack first at advantage.
Yes.
Or no.
No, you will have normal advantage and disadvantage.
Yeah, and they don't double, so
Correct.
attack 10. No.
10 does not hit them with their armor. No. Even with their
Alright.
dex limited, it does not hit.
Okay, Esteban. Go, Esteban! He got a 10 too!
You're very bad at this hitting them thing.
Yeah,
Alright.
underwater thing is not
Yeah, this
good
underwater
sign.
thing kind of sucks.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's my turn.
That's your turn.
I don't-
Perfect.
Hiding would affect this,
Drake.
so-
What do you do when you arrive at this scene?
I also dispense with the stabbing. So a
Okay.
17, they take 10 damage on that one, and a 21, they take 9 points of damage on that one, and some sneak attack just for good measure. So a total of 29 points of damage on
Alright.
whichever other one is weakened.
Okay, well, there's one that's dead, and none of them have taken damage yet, so you're damaging one of the fairy fire ones, I assume.
Perfect.
And yeah, he looks bloodied. A cloud of blood kind of forms over him. It looks bad. Janlar, you're the last of the group. What do you do with your round?
Since they're fairy fired, since we have advantage from the sneak attack, I'm going to just use a regular spell attack and cast Ray of Frost this time.
Okay. Your ice races out to reach them in the water, but you're unfamiliar with the way the ice interacts with the ocean, and the waves kind of just drift your beam, like the tide or the movement of the water just drifts your beam of ice away from them, and you end up missing them. All right. With that said, I guess we need initiative rolls against the Merrill as they come out of their trance.
Do you want to use the one that...
yeah, we already did initiative. I think we only needed for Janlar, Rose, and
Sure, that
you.
sounds good to me. These guys will go at 22. Let me remind me what your initiative rolls were.
16. And 18 for Drake.
Oh, they rolled at 15. We're going to keep yours. I'll keep theirs, too. So they're going to go at 15. 16 for... Jagar. And what was the initiative for Drake?
18 for Drake.
18 for Drake. Okay, so I need Hughes and Janlar. Janlar with an 8.
And Rose with an 8.
And Rose with an 8. And Hugh. Hugh!
Hugh, we need your initiative.
My initiative? Sorry. I've finished with my messages. I got 8.
You got an 18. Nice. Okay, so that will bring us to Drake first. What do you do as you react to the fight once more?
I begin stabbing. They all had fairy fire, right?
Yeah, the one that you injured previously is fairy fired, so...
Perfect. Does a 14 hit?
14 does not hit, as they bat away your weapon.
And a 13 does not hit either. Wow, I do nothing.
Either.
I am ineffective this combat.
Ooh, unfortunate. Okay, that brings us around to Hugh.
Alright, I'm gonna try to stab the guy that I was stabbing before. Is he undazed?
Yes, they have all, like, retracted their hands from the statue
So
now.
I've got disadvantage now?
You do have disadvantage, unless you attack one with fairy fire.
In which case, you just have
no
flat.
Okay, cool. I swing, and I hit!
You do! Go ahead and roll some damage.
Is anybody... I think we're all adjacent to them, right? So do I get sneak attack, or...
We're tied together, so yeah, we're all right next to each other.
Go for it.
Plus, you have advantage on the attack anyway, so you have
You do,
attack.
yep.
Alright, so that is 22.
Damn. Okay, it's gonna make a Constitution saving throw versus your wounding weapon, and it fails. Right, your DC is higher than that, so it stacks one wound. On its turn, it will take some pain. All right.
And then Esteban, get him.
Get him. Esteban hits as well.
Ignore the sneak attack, 6 damage.
6 damage. All right, that one is hurt and looks almost bloodied. That brings us from Drake to Hugh to Jagar.
All right.
Go again.
I'm going to swim around to the back because I killed the first one. I'm going to cut off their escape. And I assume that Rose fairy fired the back row, right? Because we went into the front. So I'm going to attack one of these fairy fired ones.
Okay.
One that's fresh with a penalized attack. That's a crit because I have champion fighter, so I crit on 19s.
Correct. Yes, sir.
So he takes 30 points of damage.
Woo! He is immediately bloodied as you chop into him.
Yep. Second attack here is a 10, but I do get a third one, which is a 19.
Yep, that hits.
So another 2d6 plus 14. He takes another 22.
He takes 22 points of damage. 22 and 30, 52. He's dead. Yep, you got him.
Awesome.
All right. Yeah, you are making short work of them with your greatsword, chopping into them. But now it is finally their turn to react. One of them that is injured is a priest. And he immediately lifts his hands up and places them outward. And he is going to touch Drake. And he is going to make you make a spell saving throw, please. This is going to be Dexterity, DC 15.
Saving throw?
Yes.
Really?
Okay, you fail. So, electricity sparks between his hands, and you're unable to jerk out of the way, and you will take... 23 points of shock damage as electricity arcs between his hands, striking you. And that is his turn. This guy's dead. This guy's dead. This guy is unhurt, looks around, and goes to put a whistle to his lips. And blows a strange conchy sound through the water. It's low and deep and resonates more than high and shrill. And you see the shark and the seahorses kind of perk up at the sound of this, and they begin swimming their way towards the stone after you. That is his turn. This guy is going to make a swing at Hugh with his spear. With a 17, does that hit you, Hugh?
Yeah, that hits me.
That hits you, and so he will roll.
Please don't kill me. Please don't kill me. Please don't
7 points of damage.
Okay. I'm going to uncanny dodge if I can.
Okay, absolutely, yeah. You turn at the last moment in the water, and you have that damage. It becomes just a glancing cut across your bow. This guy's gonna turn around and actually fight Jagar, because Jagar has killed 2 of his friends, and he's very concerned about that. And he's gonna swing at you with a 12.
No.
Okay. Oh, I forgot the second attack. Second attack on Hugh. Misses.
Yeah,
second attack on you. Does a 15
Miss.
hit Jagar?
No.
No. Alright, so they
It's a
swing
17.
ineffectively at you. This guy did priest stuff. This guy... Yep, alright, that is their turn. Which brings us to Rose. What do you do?
Well, here's the thing. I'm not very, I don't know much about the Monsters Manual, so I'm just gonna go out on a limb here. I'll try using my staff, and I would like to try to cast Animal Friendship on the shark. I'm not sure what their intelligence is, but I'll just try it.
Okay. You cast Animal Friendship on the shark. Do they get a saving throw?
They do get a Wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Let me find my great shark here real quick.
If it's more intelligent than a 4, then the spell fails automatically.
More intelligent than
I'm
4.
Yeah, than a 4. It's not very high. It's the first of spells.
Maybe you can befriend a seahorse.
It has
They're giant
intelligence. It
seahorses,
has
though.
intelligence 1. So
Oh, wow.
it will make
Okay.
a wisdom save, I assume.
Yeah, Wisdom saving throw.
Alrighty. Not a shark's best attribute here. An 11.
That's
it
a fail.
fails. So you cast this, and you see the shark kind of swimming forward towards you, and it kind of pulls up, and it sees the seahorses kind of swimming past, and it kind of begins body blocking their way a little bit, trying to prevent them from getting towards you. Excellent. Janlar, it is your turn. What do you do?
Seeing Jagar rip into 2 of these things, I'm gonna cast haste on him.
Oh, okay. Breaking out the haste again. You
Yep.
place your
Going
hands
back to the well.
on Jagar and begin the haste. Jagar, you feel your energy kind of pull through you. You get a +2 to AC, and you get an extra 15 feet of movement, and you get an extra action.
Oh my god, he's
turn.
become Aquaman.
Yeah. Excellent. That brings us to the top of the round, though, and that brings us to Drake. What do you do after you've been electrocuted by this priest's magic?
How close is the guy with the conch shell?
He's within probably 5 to 10 feet of you, easily.
Okay, I'm gonna move towards that guy.
Okay. Absolutely.
And I'm going to use my disarming attack.
You didn't attack the priest, did you?
I did not.
He's going to take his attack of opportunity at you.
Go for it.
With a 13 to hit you.
Misses.
Okay, he misses.
That misses. Okay, yeah, so I'm going to use disarming attack. So I'm going to spend my superiority dice and add it to the damage roll. Okay, cool. So let's see here. Come on. And he's got fairy fire, right?
The one with the conch does not have fairy fire.
Gotcha. It's a normal roll. Wow. 24 to hit.
24 hits.
So he takes 11 damage plus 1d6, and he needs to make a strength saving throw to hold on to that conch. So he takes
Alright.
12 damage right now. I'm going to give him some sneak attack as well, so make that 21 damage. And he's...
Okay, 21 damage. He makes a save on that conch. But he takes a ton of damage and is immediately bloodied.
Perfect. I'm going to stab him again.
Okay.
He has to go down. He takes 5 more damage.
5 more damage. Alright. That is your turn. Excellently done, Drake. That leaves us to Hugh.
All right. The guy I was stabbing's still kicking, right?
Yes.
Perfect. So I will attack him at disadvantage.
Normal, because it's
normal. You're
then
fighting
fine.
a fairy
Fairy
fire.
fired.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Never mind. Still the same thing.
Yep.
He takes that much damage.
Jesus.
27.
All right,
27.
your rapier goes right through him, and he dies in a bloody mess around you.
Perfect. And I'll go, Esteban, skewer the cleric.
Esteban races forward. You can't hear him because you're not touching him, but he's telepathically shouting Esteban things.
I could gather that. Esteban rolls a 9.
A 9 misses. No.
Okay. So there's one more fairy fired one, right? 'Cause
That is correct.
Rose got
There's one
3.
more fairy fired one.
So I'm gonna go ahead and take care. That's the one who attacked me.
Correct.
So I gotta take care of him really
It
fast.
is.
So 13 is probably a miss.
A 13 is a miss.
A 20 is probably a hit.
20 hits.
46 plus 14, or no, 2d6 plus 14. So he takes 21 damage to start. Then
Okay.
my second action, an 8 is a miss, and that's a crit.
Uh-huh.
So 46 plus 14. So he takes another 22.
Whoa, he's dead. You
Okay.
chop him into little pieces. There are now 2 of them left. One of them the priest.
Yep, I'm gonna go and swim over to the priest and use my bonus action to make another attack here. He doesn't give me advantage, so we're just gonna do a normal attack.
That's right. You get 3 attacks for the haste. Yep.
I get 2 attacks for the haste, but it's a second action, and then I also have a bonus action because of the critical hit and the kill. Because of Great Weapon Master.
I see. It's
It's
Yep,
not an
yep,
extra
yep,
attack
yep, yep,
action,
yep. I'm with you.
You just
It's an extra
stack
melee
all the
attack.
action.
Yes, yes.
Does a 16 hit him?
16 does hit.
Okay. So he takes another 2d6 plus 4. He'll take 10 points of damage.
Just 10?
I believe so, yeah, because I didn't penalize it.
He's alive at 1. He lives. That is Hugh, Drake, Jagar. It's their turn. This priest turns around and thrums his fingers together, and a glowing black orb begins to kind of like surround you, and it grows out, and there's an inky black darkness. It's less like darkness as in an absence of light, but more like a cloud of black ink that you can't see through. Just surrounds you in a giant sphere in the water. Every one of you is blind, unless you have something akin to true sight to see through the inky black that surrounds him. And then he GTFOs, man. He's gonna start swimming away. And this guy...
Do you have to be able to see to get an opportunity attack?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
And this guy is also GTFOing. Alright, Rose, you are in this pool of inky blackness. What do you do?
Okay, I'm gonna grab my mace. I don't have blind sight. I only have true sight, right?
The mace has true sight, so Sandbar can see, but you can.
I can see him this way.
Okay, can I foreseeably swim out of this dark sphere to get vision, or is the sphere so big that in one shot I couldn't make it out of it?
You could swim as far as you can and see if you get out of the sphere. You
I'll
can't
try.
see to the end of it, so you don't know.
I'll
Isn't
try
she tied to somebody though?
She is, yes. But how big was the rope that you tied to these people? We didn't establish that.
I was guessing like 20 feet ish.
Yeah.
So she's probably gonna start tugging me.
Yeah. Okay, so you
That's fine.
swim to the end of your rope at 20 feet. This guy's spell goes in a 15-foot radius, I So I think you technically can get to the edge of it. Yes, as you get to the like tautness of your rope, begin tugging at Jagar. You can break free of the ink and see the outside.
Right. And how far away is he from me?
He is. You went 20 feet. He is. One of them. The priest is another 10 feet from you. The other one double moved, so he is 40 feet from you.
Okay. I okay, let's see. I did that. I swam there. I'm gonna create a pebble in my hand, Greg. I'm gonna throw a pebble at the priest.
Alright. You pick up a stone off of the ocean floor and swing a pebble at the priest.
Right.
You have
it is disadvantage.
Yes.
The magic that must be propelling this thing forward
Yes.
to go through the water. I like to imagine just like the water separating out from the as it flies forward.
Okay, let's see. 24. No, that's advantage. It would be a 14. That's
14
what it is. Sorry.
misses. Yes.
Yep.
Unfortunately. That brings us to Janlar. You are surrounded by inky blackness. What do you do?
I don't have true sight, so I don't really have any idea which direction these things are at.
I also can't yell, so you know.
Yeah. So I guess.
I'm gonna say, do you know Dispel?
Yeah, but I mean, that's not gonna be that useful. I guess I would try to swim out of the inky darkness, but I would just kind of swim in a random direction.
Okay. Give me a D4. And you'll have one chance.
4 is good.
Out. Yeah, 4 is good. No. Alrighty. So you swim as much as you can, but you end up getting your rope tangled with somebody else's rope. You're bumping into things. You can't get out of the inky darkness.
It's good. It's safe in here.
Are we at the top now?
That brings us to the top. Yes. Okay. Drake, you are in the inky darkness. What do you do?
Perfect. I am going to dash as a bonus action, and I'm going to swim. I think up out of this darkness.
Absolutely.
I'm going to swim until I can get out of this.
Okay.
So how far is that?
Basically you were right next to the priest when this happened, so 15 feet will in any direction will get in most directions will get you out of here.
15 feet?
Yeah, 15 feet will get you out of there in any direction.
Cool. So I'm going to spend my first 15 feet to get out of this thing, and then the remainder of my feet to get up to the conch shell guy.
Okay. You can do that. Yes.
Which would be like 45 feet.
Yes.
To the
Yes.
And then I'm going to make with the stabbing.
All right. Make one with the stabbing.
13's not going to do it.
13's not going to do it.
Yeah.
Do you get a second attack, correct?
I would. It counts as a bonus action, though.
It counts as a bonus action to dual wield. That's correct. Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. That is your turn. Who is tied to Drake?
I think it's Hugh.
Yeah.
You are dragged along with Drake, and it's your turn. Conveniently, you're pretty damn close to this conch guy. What are you gonna do?
Am I close to the priest as well? Because
you're probably too far away from the priest. Like, you could swim to the priest. The problem is this rope that's tying you to Drake.
Perfect. I say to Esteban, poke the priest.
All right, Esteban races towards the priest.
And then I'm going to stab the guy that I am close to, which is great, because I was really worried I'd have to swim after him, and I'm very slow in the water.
Please roll a hit.
Disadvantage?
Yes, disadvantage.
22.
22.
Damn.
Nice.
That is 24 damage.
On the conch guy, that kills him. He's dead.
Well, yeah.
He
Stab
falls.
that fish
So
guy.
just the priest left. Let's see if the
Come on, Esteban.
priest is low.
Does he get normal or disadvantage?
He gets a.
I guess he's just swimming.
Probably normal because he's like a needle, right? So he has less water resistance.
I'm okay with Esteban, the floating sword, to have just a regular attack.
Okay. And he hits.
He hits.
That's a kill, right? Because he had 1 HP.
Yep, that's a kill. He is.
Good job, Esteban.
Dead Rooney.
Player of the sea monsters.
And with that, the spell eventually fades away. And you see that the shark that Rose had befriended has run off the giant seahorses. It seems to be quite wounded. It seems that giant seahorses, while lower than a giant shark in CR, do some damage. It is wounded and kind of... If you could limp underwater, this shark would swim with a limp. And I think right here is the perfect place to end our session today after this combat. And we will come back next week figure out what happens to the rest of our crew. I'm going to tally up some experience points for you guys to take home. Give me just a minute. If we have any shout outs to do, anything you want to tell the internet before we go, now would be an excellent time to do it. Actually, yeah, go for it. Take it away, Millman.
Yeah, thank you for watching. If you want to see more of me, I stream an excessive amount here on Twitch. I think we averaged it the other day. I stream 9 hours a day every day of the week, even on days that I don't stream. So that's questionable. But yeah, if you wanted to catch me, you can catch me over on twitch.tv/Millman. I do other D&D shows, but today they're cancelled. I've got a Patreon game that we're starting for people who are interested in joining our world of the Red Queen. It is based in Pathfinder though, so if you're not too fussed on it. But yeah, you can join the Patreon. You get put into the pool of players. We don't have that many players at the moment. I think we've got maybe 2. So if you want to join, you're most definitely going to get in. I've fluffed the numbers with a bunch of my friends that are also streamers and they don't have D&D games to join in, and they were like, yeah, we'd love to play. But yeah, you can go and join that stuff. You don't need any experience or a character sheet. It's all provided. So you just get to come in and join in, and everything you do in that show will actually affect our main show story. So it's pretty cool.
That sounds awesome. Thank you. Anybody else want to shout something else?
I guess I do tabletop stuff. You guys can come find me. I'm Mike from Unmade Gaming. I run tabletop games almost every day of the week. We run mostly not D&D. So if you want to see other neat systems like Cypher, like Year Zero, like Powered by the Apocalypse kind of things, come over and check us out. We have Patreon, YouTube, all that fun stuff. So you can catch up on all the old episodes and all that kind of cool stuff.
They're very fun. I've stolen many a system from them.
Perfect. I'm glad.
Yeah.
That's my goal, is to get everyone to steal these systems.
There's one that's like Stranger Things. It's fucking fantastic.
Yeah, Tales from the Loop. My least favorite thing to hear is, can I make D&D do this? To which I no. Just play something else.
Guys, have you tried my new D&D 5e campaign set in the 1930s where everybody's playing as a member of the Mafia?
No, I want to play D&D in space. No, you don't. You just want to play a game in space. You only know about D&D. Please stop.
Awesome. Check out Unmade Gaming. It's good stuff. Anything else? No? All right. Excellent. So I want the 5 of you to take home 1,265 experience points each. Here, not you. The Sandbar the Mace, you get a full pool of experience as you were used in combat today. So he gets 1265 as well.
Oof. I lost so much XP from dying last
session.
You
did, yeah. Dying sucks, man. It brings you in at the bottom of it.
Yeah.
Did you say you leveled, Janlar?
I think so. What do we have?
Yeah, I believe. I think we needed like 1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're at 14,434.
All right, level 6. Here we go. I want to see those HP rolls.
Let me see those ones.
Oh, it's 2. Oh, I got my HP.
Did you get a con bonus? I don't remember off the top of my head.
I got a +1.
Okay, so 3 more HP for Rose. Janlar, let's see it. Let's get that.
It's a D6 in this, right? Not a D4.
What's our XP?
It's a D6, correct.
XP next level.
Hey! Janlar needed those.
Very good.
Janlar's gotten a couple good level ups now with HP, which he desperately needed.
Yeah, after that demon sucked away all of his HP, that was pretty brutal.
Honestly, my rolls on my HP were great beforehand.
Alrighty. Well, we will get them leveled up. Thank you all for coming and hanging out with us. We had a great time. I hope you did as well. We'll see you next time, next week, same time, same place. Peace, everybody.
Yeah, take it easy, guys.
See ya.